current head-to-head matchup shows a very close race between Trump and Clinton. The two virtually tied in this Real Clear Politics average of a bunch of polls. Those numbers also contain Trump's convention bounce and just one poll from after the Democratic National Convention. Pat Caddell, you object to the methodology of the poll done by Reuters after the DNC. Explain that.
Well, the reason the polling Real Clear average was dead even, 43.7 apiece, until Reuters went back and reallocated their numbers. I've never seen anything like this. I've read carefully the methodological statement, and essentially what they decided was people who said neither. In an election where attitudes are volatile, they just simply decided that there were too many Clinton people who were really going to be for Clinton, and they basically, it appears to me, just allocated them to her, and what it produced is a result that is frankly, it was not tweaking, as they said, it was cooking the poll. And I'm a little tired of what's happening in the media, including using every instrument they can to try to put their thumb on the election. And I call on the American Association of Public Opinion, which is supposed to monitor our industry, and ask them to intervene in this. This was outrageous, and I think Doug's seen some of the same thing.
Yeah, and speaking of this perceived media bias, Donald Trump during a news conference Wednesday had this to say about media coverage of the emails that were uncovered in this DNC email hack.
The email situation, now I call it the double email situation, both very serious. What was said in the last ones to the DNC was horrible, absolutely horrible. If I would have used language like they used about religion, about race, about everything else that they discuss in those emails, I would have had to run and hide and probably drop out of the race. With her, everything's just fine.
All right, Doug, is he right?
Look, what the DNC did was abhorrent. Apparently, though, the hacking has extended to the Clinton campaign and the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. And the best evidence we have from intelligence sources is that the Russians were behind it.
We're changing the subject away from what was in the emails.
Yeah, I am doing that deliberately. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because if the Russians are influencing our election, that is far more important, Patty Ann, than some impertinent or rude or inappropriate statements by some Democratic National Committee figures. It gets to the fundamental essence of our democracy and whether it is vulnerable to Russian or Chinese incursion, particularly states that have online voting. So this is a big issue, a huge question.
But John, does one scandal cancel out the other?
No,
can't we be concerned about both?
But let me go to the heart of something here that this brought up, because Mr. Trump came out Wednesday and had this press conference where he, whether he was sarcastic or not, he asked Putin and the Russians, if you have these, the hacked Hillary emails separate from these, please release them. All right. That has caused the media, if there are any, and that has caused the media to examine Trump's relationship with Putin over the years and Paul Manafort, his chairman's relationship with the Russians. One thing Republicans do not want to be accused of is being in any way close to Vladimir Putin. All right? We don't want to be anything to do with that guy. He's the single most evil leader in the world, period.
Yeah, a lot to chew on in all of that. All right. Pat, I'm sorry, I'm getting a wrap. We're going to go back to you after the next break.